Hey, welcome back to the War Journal podcast. Before we start the next episode, I would like to thank Major General Knight for coming on the podcast and sharing, his insights from his time in Ramadi and the mental health issues that he dealt with from his deployment, and also sharing his insights with regard to the National Guard and the mental health issues and challenges that guardsmen face. So let's kick off episode 14. Last time we talked, I shared some insights with regard to where we were at the war, and what I'd like to do is do a couple readings and share some of the insights at really a turning point for me and some events that occurred. So January 22nd, 1991. It is raining now. Yes, we are in the desert, and it has rained about 5 times since we have been here. It's not so bad, but we just finished digging our hole, and we are drinking our cocoa, which Kuntz and myself do as a daily ritual. Last night we dug from 0130 until falling asleep in the rain about 0400. After that, we woke up to our daily ritual of stand to, which is becoming quite annoying. We should have been stoned last night. The way we dug resembled 2 drunken retards. It was a mindless odyssey of pain and suffering. Kuntz and I really didn't hang out before the deployment, but once we were in Desert Storm, it seemed like we connected. We had a similar perspective on the leadership within the command and the platoons and the team. And it really enabled us to kind of develop a bond when we were over there. And I think it was really important because I really had someone to share my experiences with and my ideas and confide in. And that was really important. And that really helped me also when I was going through my divorce and custody battle. And having someone to share things with, kind of like when I talked with Brian, having a battle buddy, having somebody that has your back, it's really important, and it was really important to me during Desert Storm to have Kuntz, by my side and someone to confide in. January 23rd, 1991. Just another day of nothing in this shithole. I went off at Staff Sergeant yesterday about not being a team leader, so he said he would speak to Sergeant Williams. Today, Willie was acting like a total asshole. Oh well. I feel like my hands are tied behind my back. Now I know what I wanted to write. This morning we got our wallets back, which we were collected up. So I guess we're not going on a mission anytime in the future. For entertainment today, Kuntz stole Moorhead's rifle. After about 10 minutes, he ran around about to flip out. I figured out Kuntz had 2 rifles, so all is well after all. For anybody who has deployed, and that there are certain events that occur, things that happen in the deployment that are just memorable and something that you laugh at and don't forget. And there was a couple things that happened while I was deployed that really were memorable experiences. I talked about when Kuntz called First Sergeant a loser, and I will talk about the naked Mark 19 incident in the next reading, and also talk about the water tower, the innocent water tower shooting. And these things were events that happen, and when you're in this chaos and you're have this unrelenting weather and sand and rain, and you have the physical and emotional and psychological stress that's happening. These little brief episodes provide some entertainment and relief, and I think that anyone who's experienced a deployment can attest to that and understand that and how important they are. So let me read the next entry, which was about 5 days later. There was a gap that I had, and a couple things happened. January 28th, 1991. Today was spent cleaning our gear, which was wet and sandy after the 2-day battalion operation. We froze our asses off. It was the coldest nights since we have been here, not to mention it raining. On a bright note, I made $20 by standing naked behind the Mark 19 while driving through the desert at 02:30 in the morning. Anyway, when we returned from our operation, we found our sleeping bags together outside in the rain. We were pissed. I wanted to kill Bass, who was supposed to keep our gear organized while we were gone. Also, today, we had a company meeting with the skipper who wanted to keep his troops informed. He blatantly lied by saying he has only known things more than us twice. A huge lie. Well, we should be in the shit in less than 2 weeks. Good luck. There's a couple things that I want to touch upon. The first one being, in my childhood, I grew up in New Jersey, and I wasn't physically developed, and I got bullied most of my childhood. And when I joined the Marine Corps, it really allowed me to physically mature, and I gained weight and started working out and lifting weights and became more confident, especially when I joined Recon and graduated from ARS. And those things really had an important influence on myself, my character, my identity, because I became more emboldened and not aggressive in a way where I wanted to go out and kick people's asses and fight, but really what I wanted to do is be able to protect people, protect myself and others, and having the physical stature and being more confident in my abilities physically and intellectually. It really helped me. It really helped define who I was as an individual and my character. And that really, you'll see how it plays out in the next couple episodes and entries. It was that idea that I wanted to protect my team and protect the troops and help people. That really was an underlying theme that when I read through the journal, it came out, and it was apparently clear to me. But this incident that happened with Doc Bass was really a turning point for me in the platoon and in the deployment. There were several events that occurred within this short period of time, and this was one of them. When we came back from patrol, all of our gear had been left out. It wasn't covered under ponchos. Our sleeping bags were wet, and I was furious. Doc Bass failed to, just take care of all of our stuff. And for me, I snapped. And what happened was, here we are in a combat zone, and basically I just walked up to Doc Bass and I kicked him in the chest and knocked him on the ground and got on top of him and started choking him out. And at the moment, that was probably not a good idea, but that was what I did. And think about being under this stress of combat, and one little thing will set you off. And that was the event that kind of changed the situation for me, and it really changed the direction and course of my future. This one insignificant event that really had a huge impact, not only on myself, but on others. So let me do one final journal entry, and it's a good transition and segue into what happens next. And it's really important to understand that. Well, after duty this morning, I was awoken with a care package from Rosemary, which was pretty cool, even though I don't plan on leaving my tent until 02. I am having fun. We should be leaving here tomorrow night. Today is really shitty again, cloudy and very windy. Just another shitty day in the desert. Rosemary Donato was a teacher in New Jersey who I dated before I met Ashley, and she's just a very sweet woman. And she sent me care packages, and that was kind of the theme that was happening during Desert Storm. There was a lot of support for our troops. People were sending care packages. I know myself, I was receiving care packages quite frequently. Everybody was getting them, and it was really good for me personally and others to have that support. And I know that in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and my future deployments, we had the technology, so we had Skype calls and we had telephone calls and things like that. But the care packages were always an important thing for troops that were deployed. So if I can, give a shout out to everyone and say, if you have family members who are deployed, it's awesome when you get a care package. So don't forget, on top of, Skype calls or whatever and emails, make sure you send a care package every now and then, because it's great to receive them, and it really is something that boosts your morale. I'm going to stop here for now, because the next episode is going to talk about an event that happened that really had a huge influence on myself, and and on what happened in Desert Storm and my own personal life. So with that, remember, do me a favor. Please check out the last episode, episode 13 with Major General Knight. Share it with your friends. It is a huge, has a great message that I think everybody can learn from. And please keep this community growing. Share the podcast with everyone. Make comments. I love the comments. Love to respond. And really look forward to the next episode. It's going to be a enlightening episode, I believe. And I hope everyone enjoys it. Thanks again.